There's a part of me that makes it hard to see the world today. I often turn to comfort in these times. With my freaks and my geeks, I'll walk hard into the day. Helps to say fuck the lemons and bail. The cable guy will keep me warm on Talladega nights. When the world is feeling super bad, it makes me feel alright. The wanderlust just takes my mind off what's going on right now. Honey, I'm just a nerd for Apatow. Honey, I'm just a nerd for Apatow.
I'm Ethan Yeshaya, and this is Apatow Nerd. On this 3-episode arc of Apatow Nerd, I am exploring what I call the holy trinity of Judd Apatow-directed films. On the last 2 episodes of this show, I discussed The 40-Year-Old Virgin from 2005 and Knocked Up from 2007. Today I'm joined by stand-up comedian Rudy Pavich and his partner MJ Garbers, and they're discussing Judd Apatow's film Funny People with me, which premiered in 2009. Funny People is a complicated film. There are parts of it that feel problematic. There are parts of it that feel heartbreaking, and there are parts of it that are so funny. Some people argue that it's too long. Out of all of Apatow's films, I find this one to be colder than some of his other movies. It's darker. It doesn't have perfect morals or a perfect lesson. And something has always troubled me about the movie, but it really took until recording this episode to kind of figure out what it is. But the lack of warmth that I feel sometimes while watching the movie was completely remedied when I watched the behind-the-scenes features on my Blu-ray. There's a rehearsal that they show between Judd Apatow, Adam Sandler, and Leslie Mann, and it's so intimate. And you watch that incredibly tough scene between Adam Sandler and Leslie Mann where he reveals that he has cancer, and they talk about what their relationship could have been. And weirdly enough, the rehearsal made me realize how much love was poured into this movie. And I think the troubling part sometimes is the characters can be so cold, but the filmmakers and the actors and the crew, I can tell, and I believe it, are so warm. So it's a really interesting, it's like when you find a warm spot in a pool. That's a weird analogy. But that's kind of how I feel about this movie. I'm never going to throw it away. I'm never going to stop watching it. And there's always going to be something new for me to discover about it. And there are parts of it that I don't love as much, but I'm always curious, what are those things? So here we go. Rudy Pavich, MJ Garbers, help me out. Rudy.
Hey, buddy.
MJ.
Hi.
How are you guys doing?
We're well. Thank you for having us, man.
Thank you for watching a movie for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can I first say that I love seeing that we've known each other now for, I don't know, what, probably 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, something like that?
Yeah, probably less than 10, but yeah.
I love the progression of what you've done with your life.
Thank
I love
you,
it.
man.
Yeah, it's great. I like watching, we were on the way here and I was just saying you beat the odds and you're a man who's living his dream and having fun, and you're not hunkered down by having to, go into a corporate office every day.
Yeah.
And you bought a house in a city that you love, and you married a great gal.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you're supposed to do with your life, and you're
Thank
doing
you,
it. That's
Rudy.
fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you.
It.
I got to say the same about you. I could see that you've moved out of the Twin Cities and you're on to podcasts with typically more famous people than me, and that's the dream right there.
Yeah. No, way more famous people than you, Ethan. I hate to break it to you, but wildly more famous than both of us, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to.
How's that?
I think
too much?
Yeah, no, that's
right
good.
There.
Very good.
Okay. Hold it like
especially
a
if you get if you get in Rudy comedy voice, just hold your head back a little bit.
Yeah, I do go a little hot. I know.
And MJ, I don't know you at all.
I don't know you either.
It's really nice to meet you and have you in my home.
Yeah, you have a lovely home.
Thank you for being a witness to a legal document signing that that my wife and I needed.
Yeah, I've done a lot of podcasts, but never have I ever had to sign a legal document before I did one. I've had to do some NDAs. I've definitely had to give in a blood sample, but I've never had to be a witness to some sort of legal action. So, well, that's great.
Yeah, that is exciting.
Yes, and MJ, this is your first podcast recording experience.
Yep.
It's part of your boyfriend's career.
Yes.
Your partner. I don't know what word you guys use. Are you still at boyfriend age?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think. Way to make
This
it
is my
awkward now.
man
Great. Now I
friend.
got to put a label on this.
This is my middle-aged friend.
Yeah. This is mom's bingo partner. Yeah. No, we've been, I don't know, we've been together now, 3 years, 4 years?
Something like that.
Something like that. I don't know. It's been a while.
I love it.
Yeah. So, but it's good. Yeah. I tell this to everybody, and I tell this to her all the time, that she's funnier than about definitely more than half the people. I was going to say 97% again, but
You were going to say 90.
I was going to say 90. I was going to bring it down a little bit because you've been proving in the last first 90 seconds of this podcast that maybe I was wrong about 97%. Maybe you're more like in the 80%. But you are funny, and I love to see it when you shine and you get a moment to really be able to express yourself in a very comical way, because I don't think you get a chance to do it enough. So
I don't.
Yeah. So when we have opportunities,
Not around other people.
No, not at all. No, super. It's like singing in the shower. She's amazing in the shower. You get her in front of a group of people.
I'm not going to ask more questions about that.
Same with comedy. Yeah, same with comedy.
Here, let's see which. Rudy.
Yeah. Check 1, 2, 2.
Rudy. See, Rudy's voice carries. So I gotta make sure.
I'm sorry,
sure.
man. I know.
No. I want you to be you, man.
But you're doing it correctly, because a lot of people just funnel it into one WAV file. And you're doing it the right way.
I know how to record a podcast.
Yeah, you're a smart guy.
This is technically this is my 4th podcast as a producer.
Oh.
My first podcast was in 2009.
Ooh.
I was a freshman in high school, and I played a character. And my friend, who is now a stand-up comedian in New York City, was my co-host, and he also played a character. We were not ourselves. I think my name was Michael Futurton, and he was Joe Boston.
Who was it? Do I know this
Zach
person?
Brazow. Have you ever met him?
Oh, I don't think I know Zach. No.
He's actually he's performed in town before for what's the big festival in October that happens?
10,000 Laughs.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
he's done that.
Yeah,
he's hilarious. He's just he's one of those people. I'm like, thank God you're a comedian. Like, people need to. But what I was gonna say about MJ and people like MJ is sometimes the funniest people are ones that will never do comedy or necessarily acting or anything like that. And I think a lot of comedians would probably agree with that. I bet if you ask Seth Rogen, he's like, oh no, my buddy Dale from high school is the funniest guy I've ever met.
Yeah.
My friend Elliot Kessel is one of the funniest people I've ever met.
Sure.
And it's just that's a cool thing about humor is it doesn't belong to anybody. It's really just like a person at, doing bingo at the old folks home might crack you up harder than the last, Sandler movie.
Oh, sure.
It's kind of a cool thing. But then comedy as a profession is a cool thing because you're trying to recreate that chemical reaction in people's brains. You're trying to make laughter happen more, especially in a world where things are getting really serious.
Absolutely. Yeah, very serious. Yeah.
But
yeah, that's the thing about Apatow movies is it's a nice little slice of let's not think about what's going on in the world. Let's just take 2 hours out of the day and sort of get lost in, a great story.
I agree. So are you, I'll ask both of you, are you guys Apatow fans?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
MJ, tell me more.
Oh, I mean, all of them. I've got my kids watching Freaks and Geeks now. I think we're on our third time through.
Every kid should grow up with that show. It changed my life. It's the reason why I'm doing a shrine to Judd Apatow. What else have you guys watched?
What else have we watched? I did just watch Ricky Bobby with them.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, these are falling off.
Oh, you
Is that better?
They look fine.
Yeah, you look fine.
As long as you can hear yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did tell them they could watch Pineapple Express, but they can't watch it with me.
Okay, that's fair.
I do that a lot with them.
That would make you uncomfortable.
It wouldn't make me uncomfortable. It would make them uncomfortable. Like they don't want to watch that with their mom.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's not one that I think I would have wanted to watch with my mom.
No.
Yeah.
And like The Hangover was even, I mean, we watched that together and I was like,
look, my
and they were like, you're making it weird.
Yeah. I watched Grandma's Boy with my daughter the other day. And
my grandma.
And my daughter was like, what are you doing?
What does like a Gen Alpha kid think of? Because your daughter's like 17, in high school. Yeah. So like that.
Oh
like,
yeah. They hate all of that stuff.
Really? They don't like modern or like what to us was modern comedies, but they're kind of old school now. Like the Apatows and the McKays. Like the kids probably don't like that as much.
No, we watched. It could be when James Van Der Beek passed away last week or the week before. Varsity Blues was on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Like, they put it on their home screen. And I'm like, we got to watch this. And there were things. Like they watched it, MJ and her daughters watched it, and there are things in that movie that I had totally forgotten about. Like there's a scene where Scott Conn just walks out and he's just singing a song, and he's like, "She broke my heart, so I broke her jaw," and you're like, "What?
Oh my
like how
God.
does that get through?" Because I was on the road the other night, and this was a couple months ago. I was in Florida, and I'm at a hotel, and I don't know if you know this, Ethan. The road is lonely. The road is so lonely.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Tenacious D sings about the road, and it is not what you expect it to be.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, everybody thinks it's parties and it's all this. It's literally me going back to a Motel 6, watching TV, and calling her, and just staying on the phone.
And probably feeling sad that you're not with her and things like that. It's like.
But the other night, I was watching, like Father Like Son, with Dudley Moore and Kirk Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a Motley Crue song in there where the lyric is, "She's only 15." And I was like, what?
Yeah.
So we went back and I sent her the song and we listened to it 15 times over, no pun intended. And I was like, I can't believe that this was a song. I thought Winger 17 was the worst song I'd ever heard. And then this was on. So when our kids, my daughter and her daughters, go back and watch stuff that we grew up on, they watch it with a different eye and just go, well, even in 21 Jump Street, they make a comment about like, when Channing Tatum is like, "What's up, dork?" And they're like, "What are you doing? Like, we don't call people that anymore." You're like, "Oh yeah, we've moved on from all of that."
Well, I'm glad you're kind of talking and thinking about that today, because I felt that way watching Funny People. Yeah. I don't know if you guys felt the same way.
There's a couple things in there that were like, whoa.
Well, so the movie I've always loved it. My first experience was seeing it in the theater. And I remember my friend Elliot and I went to it in the theater, and we had my mom drive us. I was like sophomore in high school. Mm-hmm. We had my mom drive us to the FedEx store so we could get notebooks so we could try to write jokes.
Oh, wow.
Right after we saw that movie.
That's great.
So she like picked us up from the Plymouth theater and like drove us to FedEx store, and we got like some pens and notebooks, and we were like trying to write some jokes. It was such an inspiration for us young men. But my wife has this way of, sometimes I'll be watching a movie that I love. So I've always loved Funny People, but she'll walk in the room, kind of watch the movie passively. She'll like look at her phone, not even really pay attention, but she's really smart. So she hears every line. And I was watching Funny People yesterday because, to prepare for this. And she just goes, "Wow, every woman's just an object in this movie, huh?" And I was like, oh my God. It was like that episode of How I Met Your Mother where a light bulb, you hear a light bulb cracking every time you realize something obnoxious about your partner. It was like I heard this like light bulb crack, and I was like, fuck, I've seen this movie like 30 times. And yet the women are all objects in this movie, sexual objects. And the thing that really bothered me about that is that, in my point of view, that is not Judd Apatow's typical worldview, because the movie Knocked Up is about how being an idiot dude and not growing up doesn't work for you, and the woman will move on until you grow up and you move out of your friend's stupid house and you get your own apartment and you read the damn baby book and you become an adult. Then she'll give you a second chance. So it's like that's a way more that's like a way more feminist film. And it's interesting to watch this movie that I was like, oh yeah, I don't like the worldview as much. And my wife really helped me get there quicker. You know, I never knew, I could never figure out what troubled me, especially as an adult, about this movie. And I think that's sort of part of it. It's kind of weird. But I also really like it.
Yeah, fantastic movie.
Fantastic movie.
I'll let you speak on the feminism part of it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
That's
I'll let you.
a good move.
I did notice that right away.
Sure.
But also, as the movie went on, I thought, okay, well, Daisy might be doing it right back to them.
Yes. Yeah.
When they do get into the argument.
Yeah.
And she's just like, no, screw you. I'll date who I want.
Yeah. So
I thought, okay, all right. So she's doing it back.
Yeah.
But I don't know if maybe it was the time or maybe people are just more aware of it now. But there was a time when I lived in a house with a bunch of men who were roommates with me. Well, I can't say men. They were like those guys. They were like them in the movie. And kind of spot on. Just kind of, you know, they were gross.
Sure.
And they were treated people badly.
Yeah. I agree with it. I think that there are times where when you are writing something along the lines of this, you're sort of writing it from the perspective of what their world is.
Absolutely.
And not so much of Judd's world. But when you look at it, and as a guy who's in comedy, who has grown out of that phase of his life, I definitely can. I remember a time when when women, especially female comedians, were very much so objectified in the business, so much so. So when you see it from it, it's like, I get where they're coming from. They're writing it from this perspective of, and especially with Adam Sandler and his story arc in this movie, where you're like, oh, he's changing, and then at the end you're like, oh, nothing really changed.
Yeah, I'm glad you say that. Yeah, because it's I think he's the most troublesome for me in the movie, because it's like he doesn't really grow. And what I realized today was like, oh, I think as a viewer, what I'm upset with this movie is that I want it to be Seth Rogen. I want him to be the protagonist of the film.
Yeah.
And Leslie Mann. Like I almost like wish they followed Leslie Mann's character and Seth Rogen's character and almost made like Adam Sandler kind of like a secondary role, even though he's kind of this big part in their lives.
Sure.
I don't connect with Adam Sandler's character. He's rich, he's famous, he can do whatever he wants, and he does. Yeah. And he's the only justice that happens is that she ultimately rejects him in the movie. And she rejects him. And this is where I was like, okay, Judd Apatow isn't like a sexist pig. He's a wonderful family man with an amazing wife and daughters. And he saves the movie by making the reason why she broke up with him, or it was like ended it with him, is because he didn't appreciate her daughter singing Cats. That was so special and like such a mature filmmaker choice. And I was like, okay, you saved the movie, but it was getting close where I was like, oh, these unredeemable characters. What I don't know. And I've seen it a million times, but it's like you watch at a certain age, you're like, oh, like this is a vibe. Like, there's a lot of grossness in here.
Yeah, it's a real line, because everybody in Seinfeld was deplorable and we hated all of them, but we loved them at the same time. Where Sandler's character in this, it's funny. I heard Artie Lang say the other day that he used to wait 3 hours to see Andrew Dice Clay, and now I dodge his phone calls. And it was funny because I was like, you could see the Seth Rogen character so excited to be around George Simmons, and at the end he's like, I never want to see this person ever again. Yeah, and it's because in your mind you're like, I know what this relationship is going to look like now that I'm friends with this famous person, and then it turns out to be just the same old relationship with everybody else and non-famous people, and it all ends the same, where you're like, okay, well, we had a moment and now we don't like each other and we've moved on. So, but good.
What are your thoughts on this? Because at the very beginning, when he's walking in to the building and people are like, oh, George, and he's all smiley and he's in a great mood. Right. Did the diagnosis make him more of a jerk to everybody, or was that always there?
Well, it's funny you say that because I took a lot of notes on this, and the when he walks out and those people are like, "Hey, George Simmons," he just gets the diagnosis. They're like, "Hey, can we get a photo?"
Yeah.
And the sort of look on his face is there's a sadness that he is not allowed to process this like a normal human being. He has to be turned on all the time.
Yeah.
And he's sort of forcing that smile, and you can sort of see it in him. And that is I don't know what it's like personally, but I know what the feeling is sometimes when people go, time to dance, and you're like, not ready to dance.
So I think you're referring to the second instance. So what's a really good filmmaker choice is they set up in the beginning of the movie him happily, like you said, happily taking pictures with fans, but then after he gets his diagnosis, it's the same scene, but his demeanor changes. Is that what you're referring to?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And that's a really cool filmmaker choice, I think. And you're right. It kind of shows that, like, yeah, with celebrity, is if you want to keep playing the game and doing a good job as a public figure, you kind of have to force it in these moments. I hear Dax Shepard talking about, like, he hates when he's having a moment with his daughters and someone comes up and tries to talk to him, and that must be frustrating.
Yeah.
You get it all the time now, Rudy.
All the time, yeah. It doesn't happen a lot, but man, when it does happen, it always seems like to be at the most inopportune time. I'm like, really, dude, right now? Have nobody said hi to me in an airport in 6 weeks, and now you're doing it when I'm arguing with TSA? Really? Thanks. Yeah. So, no, but watching that sort of part unfold, I just know what it is. I do know what it is like to be the center of attention at the end of a night. You know, you're the guy, and everybody's shaking your hand, and they want pictures, and they buy the merch, and hey, man, good to see you. Can't wait to see you again. Hey, what's your Instagram? They follow you. And then everybody goes back to their families, and they all go back to their houses, and their babysitters go home, and they can't wait to wake up the next morning. Meanwhile, you are going back to a La Quinta. And you are, I know the loneliness. I definitely know it.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, Adam Sandler's character, I don't think he's super redeemable in the movie, but I think he's really realistic in terms of loneliness. He plays lonely really well. And I think when he thinks he's dying, he realizes that the only true love that he ever had was, God, I forget her character's name. I want to call her
Laura.
Debbie, Laura, because she was Debbie in Knocked Up, her character. But it's still not good enough because he like messed up with her back in the day, and he's like trying to use this sickness to try to get her back a little bit. But like it just doesn't feel like he's learned much, and he's not doing it in the right way. He's like, stealing her from her husband and daughters, and what I liked at the end of the movie. I mean, I'm watching this as such a different guy than when I was younger. I probably would have had a different take on it, but like I was like, I like the part where Clarke kind of admits to cheating at the end, and he's like, it was only 2 times, like I'm so sorry, I'm gonna quit my job and like become like a stay-at-home dad and work in town. I can't do the accent.
I think you're doing a really good job.
That was the best I've ever done.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But like Clarke learned his goddamn lesson in the movie. He realized what was important in his life. He even had like a spiritual, really amazing line that I should have written down. It was like,
Clarke had a chance to grow up.
He took that chance, and so I'm like, Clarke is a better guy than Adam Sandler in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, he just kind of got stuck where he was, making prank phone calls, just on a bigger stage.
On a bigger scale, yeah.
So he just never grew up.
Yeah.
I wrote this note. Maybe this is the line. I had to cheat for us to be happy again.
Was
that the line?
No, he says something really spiritual that was like, it was just beautiful. Like it was beautifully said. God, I wish I could remember, but it was so brilliant.
Underneath anger is hurt, but underneath hurt is love. You feel it?
And like, it was that moment where I was like, oh my God, I kind of hated Clarke this whole movie. And I realized that he's very, problematic in his own way, but he's still a good enough person that he wants to be better and wants to be there for his family. It's a very complex movie. in a lot
Yeah.
of ways.
Well, and Clarke had all these things, and he built this life, and he had these kids
Yeah.
with his wife, who he loves, and he's got his career that is whatever it is, whatever he does in China.
Some kind of business.
Right. He was faced with like, oh my God, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose everything right
Yeah.
now. And Adam Sandler was like, I never had this thing, but there's a wife and some kids. I'll go take those.
Yeah.
And then when he thinks he's going to get it, he's like, oh, these kids bug me.
Right. Because he didn't like the Cats video.
And he checked his phone.
And he checked his phone during that, and he kind of made a stupid joke about it. And then like when Clarke finally drove away and it was just them left in the driveway, they were talking about their plans, and he didn't seem all that happy about it. Like, you know, she was like, well, this summer. And he was like, well, I was supposed to go on like a 6-week tour, but I guess I can cancel it. And then he just doesn't seem like he got what he wanted for a moment in the movie. And it kind of wasn't what he wanted.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, get it. Go to therapy, my guy.
It's like the end of The Graduate, you know, when they're on the bus and they're like super happy, and then it's just the two of them, and they're sort of staring at each other, going, "Oh, this is it.
Well,
This is it."
It's a great shot at the end of that movie because they're smiling, and then the last like millisecond, their smile stops,
Yeah.
and you're as a viewer, you're like, that's either smiles don't last forever. Sometimes you just stop smiling, but you're like, there's something sinister about that.
Yeah, it's almost like they realize, okay, we made this huge decision on a whim,
Yeah.
and now we're stuck with it.
Rudy, that's a really smart, good film parallel. The end of The Graduate to that scene in this movie. I didn't think about that, but
it's not all dick and fart jokes. It's every now and again.
Just mostly.
Mostly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
okay.
but,
So
yeah.
the cinematographer was a guy, Janusz Kaminski, who did. I knew that because I talked about it in a different episode. I think I did some research. He did like Private Ryan. What was that?
Saving Private Ryan.
So he did like these big movies, and I'm not in love with a lot of the cinematography in the movie, but there's some of it that I really like. I don't know if you guys care about cinematography, like especially in like a comedy, but like I just watched Knocked Up, and I was like, this is like so much more beautiful visually than Funny People. And there's like a shot that really bothers me where there's like too much light coming in the window, and I don't know if you guys like pay attention to stuff like that in movies.
Yeah,
but,
I will. Yeah,
it was like the first doctor that he had before he had the like tall Swedish guy or German guy or whatever. It was that like older doctor. And it's just like so much light on his face. And I'm like,
yes, I do remember. Yes,
like, he got like a world-class cinematographer, and it's actually, I don't think it's his best looking film.
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
Did they make it like that because he's giving him life-changing news?
It could be a choice. And you know what? I think the other thing, and this is a me problem, but they don't have this movie available in 4K. And I think I've really adapted to a 4K watcher of movies. Mm-hmm. So when something's not in 4K, it just looks kind of grainy to me. And I just noticed the movie was just grainier. And I'm like, I think once they release it in 4K, I'm going to be like, oh, this is actually shot really beautifully. And, I'm going to totally change my tune. But yeah, I'm a victim.
I'm not sure
to this.
that I would have any idea what the difference
Such a
would
weirdo.
be.
Yeah. Sorry. Speaking of in the middle of things, looking at phones, I looked at my phone. The reason why I looked at my phone is because Eric Bana had a movie in 1997. I couldn't remember the name. I had to look it up. It's called The Castle.
Okay.
It is because everybody knows in America, everybody knows Eric Bana as the Hulk. That was his first introduction into American cinema.
Yeah.
But what they don't realize, Eric Bana actually one of Australia's greatest comedians.
Eric Bana's a comedian?
Absolutely. People don't realize that. But he had a movie called The Castle. And The Castle is a movie about, and it's his breakout role, huge role. He plays, his family owns a house that is on the runway of an airport. And this airport comes to the family and goes, hey, we're going to buy this land and put a runway here. And they go, we ain't selling. And they go,
oh
okay.
my God. So they have to fly around it.
So they literally build the airport around. So these people are just like laying in bed at night and there are jets flying like feet over the roof and everything's shaking.
Yeah.
And it's called The Castle, and it's about them not wanting to give up their home.
It's like the old guy in Up. Like
Absolutely,
the city builds around his house because he
him.
refuses to sell it. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
and that is exactly. But I had to look it up for a second. But Eric Bana, very underrated, and I don't think gets enough credit.
Oh, he's
for what he
really
does.
good in the movie.
So good.
And this was the most I enjoyed his character and his performance this time in the movie. Because I always had this thought like, yeah, Adam Sandler deserves to be with his old high school sweetheart. And this Australian guy sucks. And I was just like, this time I was like, no, I think like the Australian guy sucks because he cheated a couple times. But like for the most part, he's kind of a better guy.
Totally a better guy. Absolutely.
100% a better guy.
Yeah. I don't know. This time I just realized that the movie, I love it, and I think I'll always love it. But it's a harder watch than some of the other Apatow movies. It's just it's just a little darker or something.
Yeah.
And it's not the cancer stuff.
No, it's just more uncomfortable.
It's more uncomfortable. The characters have less redeeming qualities. But like again, like Seth Rogen, I wanted to see his story more. And I don't know, as a comedian, and you're a big MJ, you're a big comedy fan. MJ, right? Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry. You have two initials. I got really nervous for a second. I was like, did I get the initials right?
You did.
So you're a comedian, comedy fan, and then I'm a comedy fan, former recovering comedian, and I.
Some way to put it.
I'm what I learned as my in my time as a stand-up comedian is that stand-up is not my favorite format of comedy. Mm-hmm. But weirdly enough, in this movie, I wanted to see more stand-up.
I agree.
I wanted to see more comedian journey. And you know where I think Apatow nailed that is in the show Crashing with Pete Holmes. Did you watch that whole series?
That is one of my favorite series about comedy of all time.
I think it's the best portrayal of comedy at all levels, in the laundromat at some laundromat, stupid shows. And then performing at the Union Theater or whatever or Town Hall or whatever the big performance he does at the end of the show.
Yep.
And it's just an amazing journey. And you really feel like even as just a layman, a viewer, you're like, I really get stand-up comedy. I feel like I would have liked this movie if it was like less of the Sandler character and more of like Seth Rogen's journey as a comedian.
Sure.
I think it would have been a better film. And Aubrey Plaza's character is a really good character. I wanted to see her more.
Yeah.
And I liked the thing you were saying about her, kind of, she is treated as an object, but kind of like gives it right back to them. She's like, I'll fuck whoever I want. Mm-hmm. And that's actually badass. Like
I think that they kind of expected her to be mad.
Yeah, and then she
when
wasn't.
they
She
were
was
like,
I'll just...
but you were supposed to wait, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, I'm going to bang whoever I want whenever I feel like it. And you guys can fight that one out. I'll be over here doing what I want.
Yeah, and that's actually, I think that's badass. But I was thinking about her relationship to Seth Rogen in this movie, and I was just like, Seth is... Actually, I would say he was one of the least problematic men in the movie in a lot of ways, but the way in which he handled the situation with his neighbor that he wanted to go on a date with, that was problematic, but he ended up owning that and realized like that was toxic and weird how I thought I could own you basically before we even had a conversation, and that's inappropriate, and I'm sorry. And he in every other way, he just kind of wasn't a pretty nice guy. And he wasn't like talking about women really grossly. Like even one of his stand-up jokes is about how his friends are all like, I want to bang her. And he's like, I want to friend her.
Yeah.
And so like, I almost think that Seth Rogen's character is maybe based on Judd, because Judd really gives me that vibe where he's like, he's not like a gross guy. The Judd and this character is not so gross. So like, thank God his character is in the movie, because I'm like, if it was too much just like gross dudes, I think I probably ultimately wouldn't like the movie. Mm-hmm. I think there's some redeeming. Sorry, that was like a really long rant.
If there was a Seth Rogen and Clarke spinoff, that would be fun. Just two good guys out being cool.
Yeah. Well, one of the notes I'd written down here was that Jonah Hill's character is angry that Seth Rogen is now going to be writing for Adam Sandler's character.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 10 minutes ago in the movie, he's talking about how he got passed at the Improv. And it's just, it's such a telling moment with comics. It's never enough.
It's never enough.
It's never enough. You can get passed at the Improv. You can get passed at the Comedy Store. You can go on the road and open for this guy. But the second somebody else gets something that you don't even necessarily want, you get angry about it.
And, you know, I feel the need to defend Seth Rogen's his choice to lie and say, oh, my friend isn't available, I'll take the gig. I think in that friendship between the three of them or four of them or however many are hanging out there, Seth Rogen's character is just dumped on all the time. He has to sleep on the couch, even though they had an agreement to every 6 months switch and you get the bedroom. It's like, no, that never happened. It's like, of course, like you should get yours, man.
Sure.
Like get your job. Like, he's not having any success in comedy so far. This is his in. And I'm like, I might have made that same choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, fuck Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill seemed more like, I would have to rewatch to be sure, but he seemed kind of like a prick.
Yeah, he's kind of a prick in the movie. But I remember, especially as a younger man watching the movie, I was like, Jonah Hill is so cool in this movie with his thick black glasses. I was just like, what an icon. I just like, as a young man, I was like, that's the coolest guy ever.
That's what people are thinking with this podcast, right? They're like, look at that Ethan with his thick glasses. Look at that icon.
Why do you think I bought the same glasses that Jonah has in the movie?
Because having friends like that in comedy, it for how much we, I know we all need to say like we're supportive of one another. We are to an extent. We're 95% of the time. I'll help somebody get that gig. I'll help somebody get this. But the second somebody calls me and goes, "Hey, it's between you and somebody else," I go, "Give it to me."
Well, Rudy,
it's just a natural human reaction, I think.
Rudy, if there were more comedians in the Twin Cities that were like you, I think I might still be doing stand-up now and then.
Really?
I just had a gross association to the whole scene, which is not fair because there's plenty of nice people, but there was some people that were so mean and just made me feel so gross about myself that I was just like, not worth it. But like, you were always so nice, man. And like, you basically watched me go from like doing stand-up like the first time and just terrible to like having enough skill to like, get into like contests and things like that. Still not like, I'd never really developed myself to be like great or anything, but you were always cool. And you're always nice to everybody. Yeah. So it's like, that's cool, man.
Well, because you never know who you're going to see on the way up and you never know who you're going to see on the way back down.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine opens for Jim Jeffries and they were at
Australian guy, right?
Yeah.
He's really funny.
Yeah. Super funny. And they were somewhere. His name is Forrest Shaw. He was opening for him somewhere, and they were in like Philadelphia or something like that. And Jim was working out new material, so they said, "Hey, if you want to come and do like a one night or 2 shows to work on new material, we'll just book this show." So Jim was like, Jim had no idea where the room was. He was like, "Okay, we're in Philly, wherever, just book it." So they book it at like the Philly Helium, and they're walking out the door after the show, and Jim looks up at the sign and he goes, "Philly Helium. Well, I'll see this on the way back down." And it's true. Like, you'll see it again.
It's like, it's so self-aware, and you realize that the comedy journey might be fleeting, and it might be like ballet for some people. It's like, well, there might be a time span for this, my feet might give out after at age 27 or something. That's a healthy way to look at it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there are some people, like they can't get past and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad trait. It's just, they don't want to live in that sort of environment. You really have to build up a thick skin to be able to get through it. And it's difficult. It's really hard because there's somebody from Minneapolis I've taken on the road with me for about 6 months.
Okay.
And after a while, this person had kind of just sent me a message and just went, "I don't think I'm ready. I think I need to."
That's cool.
And I was like, "Okay, that's great." And then I just sent them back another message and just said, "Why are you listening to other people? Why? Why do you care? You should. Who cares what other people think or say? Do you?" Because
that's an impressive skill that you have. Yeah, I think a lot of other people don't have.
Yeah, and it's hard because you can always tell, like, what do you do? Why do you care what people think? And it's like you can tell yourself that you don't, but it's really, really hard, and especially when we do this because we need to fill some sort of void and validation in our lives. So when we go out there and, you get it from the crowd, it's funny because most people, they'll go out and have a murderous set. It'd be 250 people in the room and they'll kill, but they're looking in the back of the room at the wall at the 4 comics back there who have their arms folded, not laughing and going, I stink. I stink so bad. I'm so bad at this. Meanwhile, the crowd is they're falling out of their chairs. They're laughing so hard.
I had so many experiences like that where I would just like, I wasn't crushing a lot, but sometimes like, especially at like the Terminal Bar, I would just fucking hit with like 30 people and they were laughing their ass off. And I was like improvising and like maybe singing and doing like all kinds of weird shit. It was working. But then I just got the vibe from all the comedians, like, what a hack. And I'm like, what do you guys even know? You've been doing this for like 2 years.
I know.
You haven't had a whole comedy journey. You've just been in Minneapolis. You've never even done comedy out of the state. Like,
I know.
The guy who gave me the hardest time is a guy, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but he's a guy who I'm not seeing on posters. I look at social media. I'm not seeing him on posters. I'm not seeing him. He's not doing cool stuff like you're doing. And I'm just like, you know what? Maybe being mean catches up with you. And,
for sure.
And maybe people just don't want to work with you so much anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm bummed, I don't want to say his name, but he's a guy that he would just be a dick to me and then would ask me, oh, hey, man, can I get on the list? Can I get on the list early? Because I have to go to this other thing afterwards. And I would just let him because I just like, I didn't have the courage to be like, no, so if I could go back and have my own, comedy mic again, I would have, I did a good job of putting on people that didn't have a presence yet that I thought had a lot of talent. So I would put them, forward, but I would have stopped giving certain people so much privilege that I don't think that they deserved.
Yeah.
Which is, it's like, I don't know. I saw too much of that. I saw certain people getting special treatment and I didn't see them being a good enough person to in my opinion, to deserve that treatment.
Yeah. And the sad part is they don't look inside themselves. They look at you and go, that guy's a gatekeeper. That guy won't let me on.
Sure.
It's like, well, no, you're a terrible comic and you're kind of a dick behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe be nice and get better and then you'll get spots. And that's how you do it.
My 2 favorite people that I really supported that were, they kind of started their Twin Cities comedy journey at my mic were this guy named Jared Kaufman. Does he ever do stand-up anymore?
I don't know.
He was really funny, but he was almost like too smart for the crowds because he would talk really fast, but like he would say it was almost like reading a New Yorker like humor piece. It was like really smart. I was like, yeah, I think you're actually working on a level that's beyond. My only advice I ever gave him was I was like, I'm not the best comedian in the world, but my advice for you is slow down a little bit. Because I think there's some killer lines that people aren't hearing because they're not smart enough.
You got a room full of Johnny Dum-Dums out here.
Kind of. Sometimes. But there's also a lot of amazing comedy happening in the Twin Cities. I just, as a behind the scenes person trying to do it, I was like, this is affecting my how I feel too much, and I didn't have the thick skin for it. I really didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. To watch that scene in the movie where Aziz Ansari goes out and does the gotta have it Cold Stone Creamery thing. And
I'm tweaking.
And he's like, I murdered that room. And like, he says, okay, great. Well, I'm going to do the same. I have been in that situation so many times where you just go, okay, yes, you had a great time out there. I dare you to take that on the road. I dare you to try doing that on the road somewhere.
That's a good point.
We saw a guy last night that guy was getting good laughs. And we walked out of the show last night. We were walking to the car and MJ brought up, oh, that guy was really funny. And I'm like, yeah, he's funny for that room.
Sure.
That's funny for that room and that crowd.
But it might not translate to other crowds.
But it would never, ever. But nowadays, I say that and you do, like, the thing about it back in the day is like guys like Jamie Foxx would have to go out and they would work urban clubs in urban cities. They would go to Philadelphia. They would go to Miami. They would
mostly black rooms.
But then they would go, hey, send me to Columbus, Ohio. I want to see how this does there. And then they would work it out. And then they would go on the road. That's how you But nowadays your audience can be so niche.
Yeah.
Where sometimes I see guys and go, okay, that's funny. You can do that in 10 years. You can't do that now. You need to be able to get as many people on board with you as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And then you can start working that niche where I think sometimes there's guys that go out, they take, there was a dude last night, we did the Sisyphus room last night in Minneapolis, and there was a kid who got on stage and his first joke was, that Jeffrey Epstein, huh? And I'm like, okay, first off, this is the third time you have done an
I
open
want to
mic.
hear George Carlin talk about Jeffrey Epstein. I want, even Dave Chappelle, like someone who I personally find some things that he says unfavorable or problematic, etc. But he's smart enough that he could handle a topic like that.
Yeah, you're taking big swings at topics you should not be taking a big swing at, man, you know?
Yeah, especially when I would see young comedians talk about certain subjects that were like a major trigger psychologically especially for women or something. I'm just like, even the best of the best, I wouldn't even think that that's necessarily the best move. And I was just like, and they would try it over and over again. And I'm like, it's not working. No, like, I see people leaving the room.
Yeah.
Like I saw you do this a month ago and it was the same thing. And you got kicked out of the last mic. Like, why are you still trying it? I don't know. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, and there are times where I do have to try to put. That's why I love going to shows with MJ, because there's times where I look at it through the lens of a comic and go, that's not well written, that's not funny, I've heard that premise, whatever. But then she's laughing, and I'm like, okay, well, there's something to it. If she's laughing, and I know I'm not laughing because I'm watching it through my cynical stand-up eyes.
Yeah.
But she's having a good time. Okay, well then maybe it's pretty funny. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I can't poo-poo
Not
it.
everything has to be perfect. You don't need a
Like
perfect
worded.
10
Yeah.
on the technical.
No, you're right. And I got some
true.
I got some terrible hacky jokes, and I love to do them because
And
they
I
work.
love to hear that.
Yeah, because they work. They work. Some of them you've helped write. So you've definitely had some tags to them. So my favorite joke to do, and it's so dumb and it's so hacky, and I love when I say it, and I love when you're in the room, is my girlfriend goes, when are we going to get married? And I'm like, when you get divorced. And it is...
You don't like it.
And
No,
she loves
I like
it.
it.
She
I
loves
love
it.
it.
She loves when I do the joke. But the crowd...
I never say, when are we going to get married?
Yeah, no, she's never said that. No, never. Yeah, we both know. Like we're both. Yeah, that ship has sailed for both of us a long time ago. So when the crowd hears it, they're like, oh, the reaction is laughs, but it's mixed.
Yeah.
And then I follow it up. I go, that is the truest joke I tell up here, and then that gets another laugh on top of it. And I love doing the joke because I know it's going to work, and I know they're going to groan, and it's not a groan of being gross, and it's not a groan of like just working blue. It's a groan because for whatever reason people have a perception of me, of who they think I am, and then when I tell that joke, it sort of hammers home that perception, and they go but they laugh at the same time.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. It's the dumbest, easiest, hackiest joke on the planet, but I love to do it. I don't know why. There's a few in there that are just dumb and easy, but boy, they work and they're just fun to say.
I think you are born to be a stand-up, Rudy, because you have comedy voice. You walked in like I opened the door and you just said hello, and I was like, oh, that's a comedian.
Oh,
That's
thanks.
it. Yeah, you like Seinfeld, Chris Rock. People with these really particular voices, and it's like, of course they're meant to do what they do.
Oh.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you've got.
thanks,
I
man.
don't mean that you have a weird voice by
Yeah.
any means. You just have a voice that is suitable to make jokes and to be a performer.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It comes in handy at times. There's times where it's kind of a pain, where MJ calls and she was like, my mom's having surgery today, and I'm like, hang on, let me run this thing by you.
Well, that's not a problem with your voice. That's a problem with your personality.
That's your personality.
She showed me a video of her daughter singing Cats the other day, and I was like, God, I got to red eye it to Alaska for 10 gigs? God. She's like, could you just watch the movie, please?
That cat scene was the most painful. And especially it reinforced what a good guy Seth Rogen's character was in the movie, because he was just like, he was so into it. He was so supportive of it, and he totally
like,
got
great.
it. He was like, that crushed me, man. That cat scene.
Yeah. I think for the most part, when you and I have conversations about the kids, you probably share more of your children's stuff with me than I share of
I
my
live with
child.
my kids.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
Yeah, you're
MJ?
right. Yeah.
2 teenagers and a 10-year-old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you guys live in Vegas?
No.
No, I live in Minneapolis.
Oh, you live in Minneapolis. You spend part of your time in Vegas?
Yeah. So I'm kind of all over the place. I have an apartment in Vegas.
Okay.
And then I stay at my sister's place because my daughter still lives here. So I come home once every, probably 5 to 6 weeks, hang out for a weekend, see her. And then the rest of the time I'm on the road.
So are you guys not seeing each other?
Yeah.
Just once every 5-6 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it, MJ?
It was nice when he lived here.
Yes.
I
Okay,
miss
I didn't
having
mean
him
to
here,
bring
but
this up.
I think we talk many times a day.
Yeah.
Many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we definitely help fill we obviously love being with each other, but I also think that we help sort of fill voids where she's got this life with her family and children, and then on top of it, but that's not all you are. You're also fun and bubbly and want to enjoy life and go out and travel and do those things, and you do it with me, and it's a good time. And me being on the road and being lonely and by myself and in a car or in a hotel room, I call her and then we sit on the phone for 90 minutes at the end of the night, and then most of the time one of us falls asleep in the middle of the conversation. I'm not going to say who, definitely not going to say who, but a lot of times
it's not me.
It's not. I fall asleep a lot. Yeah. Well, like you get it done with the show and you have a couple of celebratory drinks, and then you go back to the hotel room and you lay in bed, and then you call her and South Park's on, and then the next thing you know, you wake up and the phone is stuck to the side of your face, and there's a text message from her that goes, well, I guess that's the end of the conversation.
Fine. Sleep well.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that, and that's the other thing too, is watching Seth Rogen go on the road with Adam Sandler.
Very cushy version of the road, right?
Very cushy version of the road. Yes. But I sort of had a little bit of a trajectory like that as well, where I was on the road, and I mean, from the time I picked up stand-up again when I was in my mid to upper 30s, it was like 18 months from the time I did my first open mic to when I did a theater to like 2,000 people.
So you got good really quickly, or you progressed in...
I don't know if I got good really quickly.
I climbed the ladder quickly.
I climbed the ladder very quickly.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I climbed the ladder very quickly because I had skills that helped bring me along with people that were already there.
I think that's honestly more important than the jokes in the beginning, is like being able to do that.
Yeah.
I saw certain friends that I watched like from day one, like Lucy Zarnes had both the talent. She was always funny, and we Lahiru and I encouraged her to try stand up the first time, and then I just watched her just blossom, and some people just have that.
Sure.
And they can just they can find a way to do shows super quickly.
Yeah.
And I don't think I had that so much. I think I had too much self-conscious stuff to work, and I'm still working out in therapy. That probably got in the way of me really just being my funniest self.
There's a lot of that with people.
Yeah.
A friend of mine did Craig Ferguson.
A friend of yours, Craig Ferguson?
Yeah, no, let me rephrase that.
Oh.
A friend of mine did stand-up comedy on the Craig Ferguson show.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So, and as a late night guy, Letterman was probably my guy. I liked Leno, but Letterman was probably a little bit more ahead for me. Fallon is whatever. I'm not a huge fan, but he's fine. I'm not I don't watch Colbert because I like the Colbert Report was one of my favorite shows ever.
Yeah.
And then now what he's doing, I don't see it a lot because I'm just like, I'm just kind of tired of the late night, whatever. But Craig Ferguson is the most underrated. That's the best
very
show
funny,
ever.
yeah.
And if you don't believe me, go and watch his monologue about Britney Spears. That is, he's the best. It's one of, and it's he basically says in that monologue, when Britney was having her meltdown, is, hey, I know every late night host is going to come out and have a joke about her. Maybe I come out and I encourage her to get her life together. She's got kids. She's got a family. She's a person.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not going to come out here and make jokes. And he tells the story of when he got sober. And that's the whole monologue is like, instead of talking about Brittany, he tells a story about about him getting sober so that it helps her possibly hear that story and she can make some changes in her life. And when this person was going to go and do the Craig Ferguson show, he goes, man, I love Craig so much. I'm just such a fan. I go, you watch all the time? And he's like, yeah, man, I'm just so nervous. And I go, yeah. I go, dude, I watch him every night. I go, who was the comic that was on last Thursday? And he goes, I don't know. What did he look like? I'm like, taller guy, black hair. He's like, no, I don't remember. And I go, see, that's going to be you. That's going to be you. You're going to be on that show, and you're going to be the guy with the black hair who was on Thursday that nobody remembers. So why are you nervous? And he goes, oh yeah, you're right.
That's a really good method because you're like, this is my moment. Everyone's watching. There are 3 million viewers. I'm going to have an anxiety attack.
Yeah, and nobody remembers. Because how many times have we gone to a show or somebody comes up to you and they go, dude, I went to the show last night. You should have seen this. This girl got up and crushed. What was she talking about? Can't remember. What was her name? I don't know. Okay, well.
Well, I recently watched Ray Romano do stand-up in Los Angeles. I was front row. It was at the Largo Theater. And he had some jokes that were so funny that I can pretty much remember the whole thing. And
really?
I'm like, that's a good stand-up comedian.
A great stand-up comedian.
They're all clean. His jokes are all, I was just blown away.
Yeah.
So you're dating a stand-up comedian, MJ. What does that feel like? What is it?
Feels good, if I'm honest. What do you mean?
So you're a comedy fan yourself.
Yes.
Is stand-up historically, in like the things you've enjoyed, has stand-up been like one of the first kind of comedy things that you would gravitate towards?
Maybe. Any comedy.
Okay.
Any kind
of
comedy.
You're more like me, where I'm just like, anything that's funny.
Yes. I'm from a really, I guess, competitive to be like, who's the funniest in the family?
Ooh.
Yeah, theatrical is your family. Yeah.
Are you the funniest in your family?
I don't think so.
Oh, who
But
is?
I do have siblings who say that I am.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You seem funny.
Well,
yeah.
I haven't really had a chance to prove it, but
well, we know Rudy's a talker, but
yeah.
Right.
Listen, I've met your sister is funny. Your sister is not as funny as you are. She's
just way more out there.
Yeah. I've met, she's definitely much more. I'm going to get yelled at in the car.
You know what she is? She's more like.
Yeah, she's more confident.
Yeah.
I would say that. Yeah, she's more confident. Where I've met your other sister who lives in Colorado, you are a million times funnier than that sister. Oh boy, you are a million times funnier than that sister.
She has funny in her.
She has funny in her, but not as much as you and Katie do. You guys have.
Oh, thanks.
But she's also from a family of, what is it, 9?
9.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, if you're like tied for funniest in a family of 9, that's really good.
I mean, I have brothers who are funny too.
Yeah. Your brother's an actor, right?
What? 2 of them are. Yeah.
2 of them.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Like what kind of actor? We're talking theater actor?
Theater, TV.
Nice. They live out in LA?
Yeah. My older brother does.
Nice.
I mean, they're all older. But then another brother was in LA, and then he moved back here and
that's cool.
does something.
Okay, so you're used to being around people that are in the industry and things like that. This isn't like a new hanging out with Rudy, who's like now hanging out with famous
it's different.
people.
It's a new experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's more of a deep dive into it, I guess.
I put a note about this. So Andy Dick shows up in.
Have you met him before?
MJ met Andy Dick. All right.
MJ met Andy Dick.
Please feel free to tell the story.
Oh boy.
Well, we were at a party.
Oh no.
And we were standing at a bar outside, and there was like a sort of living roomy type setup in the parking lot. And Rudy said, "Don't turn around. Andy Dick is right there." And I went, "Oh, where?" And he was like, "He's right there." And I was like, "I'm going to go talk to him." And he was like, "Oh." And I did. And I went and sat on the couch, and I struck up a conversation, and it was very exciting.
I'm sure he is. He's very interesting.
He was really intense. And
Licked your hair.
He licked my hair. But first he said, let's do a shot. And I said, what? He brought me over a drink and he was like, give me some of that. And I was like, okay, Andy
Enabling
Dick.
Andy Dick.
We'll share a drink. I know. Don't know. Now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
You totally enabled him.
I enabled Andy Dick. And then he came back over. You came back over and you said, hey, let's go do this. And I was like, okay. And Andy Dick gave me a hug and licked my hair.
Oh my God.
And I was like, that's the most Andy Dick thing that could have happened.
Yeah.
It tells me he plays himself in everything. Because like there's been a number of Judd movies and shows that he's played himself in. So Funny People is one where he was really funny and crazy. And he played himself in the show Love. Did you guys watch that? The Apatow show? Mm-mm. You should watch. It's a really, really good show.
I did. A couple years old?
Yeah. It's like a little before the pandemic. It came out like 2017 maybe or something like that. There's a whole story arc with the main woman in the show. She kind of befriends Andy Dick because like he's also like in the program but like not doing a very good job of staying in the program. And I know that's
because of me.
Because of you.
Yeah.
Well, I know that's a struggle of his in real life. So it's always, I feel like Judd does that a number of times. Like he used the you mentioned him earlier, Artie Lang. Mm-hmm. He used Artie's in and out of drug rehab and stuff like that as a major story arc in the show Crashing.
Yeah.
And even during and after Crashing, I think he himself kind of crashed and now he's like on the upswing. I've seen that he's like doing, at least the last I saw of him, he's like looking better than he has in a long time. And so it's like amazing that these shows, like they like, it's like a slice of life of comedians sometimes that's like a little too real. And it's like kind of in the midst of when they're actually going through these things. And I don't know if it's Judd's good at getting people to play themselves really realistically or what it is, but it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, the whole time that you were on the couch with Andy Dick, he kept looking over at me going, look at him. Look at him over there. And then he's trying to get with all the girls, isn't he? Look at him.
And I was like, no, Andy Dick. Eyes on me, pal.
Yeah.
Eyes over here.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had a couple run-ins with Andy Dick since that night, and the last one I texted you about. Remember that? Was it back in December?
Yep.
And that was like the day after he had OD'd.
Oh shit! Yeah, that was in the news recently.
Yeah, he tried to come to a party that we were.
So he's really struggling.
He was struggling,
Yeah.
and then basically somebody from our camp had to call him and say that's not happening.
Poor
and
guy.
He
yeah.
lost his mind. He freaked out. He was like, "You sent me this invite. I'm coming to that party." And everyone's like, we can't have it. So like we had to call the security. Like we hired a guy to stand outside the party so make sure Andy Dick didn't show. It was awful, man. It was bad. It was terrible.
He's really funny, and I hope he finds
and since
too.
then,
I love him.
Yeah.
And since then, like after that happened, he had texted somebody from our group and said, "Can you please send my apologies to everybody? I was a little out of my mind, obviously, for those couple of days."
For sure.
Yeah. So I don't know where he's at today, but definitely he was at least on the upswing the last time, because, But it's weird when you get to those situations with people that you just never thought you'd ever have a chance to meet, let alone have them lick your hair.
Well, I knew he wasn't going to see me and come over.
Yeah. No.
Even though I have probably been someone that he holds in high regard for a long time.
For sure, yeah.
So I took the initiative and
He was probably
waltzed on over.
Yeah, he was seeing 60 of that night because he was, boy.
We had a good time.
It was fun. Yeah, you're right.
He was funny. He made me laugh.
Yeah.
And I made him laugh.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
That is really fun.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Rudy, since you're around more celebrity, more comedians you probably look up to and things like that, are you less starstruck than you probably would have been 10 years ago?
No, it still haunts me.
Really?
Yeah. I met Rob Riggle the other night.
Oh, that's so cool. He's great.
Yeah, he's great. And I didn't really know what to say. Because, you meet these guys and sometimes it's in passing and sometimes you have extended hangs with them.
Yeah.
And when you do, it takes a minute. They want you to be calm and easy.
Yeah.
But your brain is going, I don't know. That's not what we're gonna do.
If I met Judd, I would be like bawling probably. Like I'd probably be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah,
love you
man.
so much.
Yeah. It's happened, man. You know, like I met Louis C.K. the other night.
Oh, did you?
And he was a great guy. Like I did a show with Bill Burr.
He was a great guy to you.
Yeah, well, what was funny? Yeah, what was funny is he shook my hand and then he wiped it on his pants. And I told MJ, and she was like, "Of the two people that should be wiping their hands on his pants, it shouldn't have been him." And I was like, "You're right."
Yikes.
Yeah, but he was very nice. He was a really nice guy.
He seems like someone who's had a major rehabilitation in his heart and in his brain recently. I've seen him in interviews. Yeah.
Yeah, nice guy. And I made the joke, which some people got.
MJ's face right now.
Yeah, I made the joke after all of that came out when they were like, "Can you believe that he is doing that in front of his friends?" I said, "I need to get better friends. I need to find people in my life that are totally cool with that." And everyone's like, "That's a weird thing to say." I'm like, "Okay, well, the people who got the joke, those are my better friends. I'll say that." But yeah, he was nice, and he didn't come off. He was about one of the only guys that I've hung with where I was like, "Oh." I didn't feel like that sort of, I don't know what to say right now in the moment. I met Chris Hansen from To Catch a Predator the other night.
My
hung with him.
God.
That was fun. He was he's very tall.
I've got the chat log right here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the guy.
Dude, it's funny. And I do a bit about it now because, you know, like I do a whole bit about meeting him. And
It's my favorite thing he says. I've got the chat log. Hey, that's not what you said. I've got the chat log right here.
Take a seat.
How dated is a chat log, by the way?
Yeah.
It's like a print off of AIM or something.
Yeah. But there's guys like that, you know, and it's funny. But, you know, the crazy part really now is when I'm watching movies like Funny People. And I'm watching and I'm like, oh, I know that green room. I know that club. I've done that
it
stage.
Must be really cool.
It's very, Oh, the back of the Comedy Store. I know that place. I know that parking spot. I know all that stuff. Like that's the part where it really, you know, it really sort of like hammers it home. You're like, oh, they were standing in that spot where, like, I did the Laugh Factory in Hollywood the other night, and you know, I mean, everybody who's done that stage before. Yeah. And when I got up on that stage, my first thought was, they need to rebuild this stage, like, because it's squishy. Yeah, it's like in the middle it sags. I was like these boards are going to snap one of these days. Like they got to figure this out.
Wouldn't it be funny if they snapped when you were up there?
That'd be the greatest moment of your life. That would put you over the top because everybody would want to share that video. Can you believe that comic was on stage? Like that would be. Yeah.
I just went to the Comedy Store and watched. I thought I was in the main room, but I was like, this seems really small. And I realized it was like that second to largest room.
Yeah, so you were up the stairs?
Up the stairs just a little bit. Not like fully up the stairs.
You weren't in the belly room, yeah. That's called the original room.
The original room.
Yeah.
And I was like, to its credit, I was like, this room's kind of ugly.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's cool because it's probably exactly how it's been for like 50 years.
Yeah, there's that window in the back that looks out onto the patio. Yeah, exactly. So that's the original room.
Yeah, so I was like, there's no way this is the Comedy Store. No. I don't think I saw it.
Yeah, so that was in the main room. So that was the original room. So like when you hear those stories about, you know, Mitzi Shore and all those guys.
Cool. So that's more historic.
That's more historic. Yeah. That's way more historic.
Oh, that's
cool.
Then
they added on the main room and built it bigger. Once the store kind of took off and they wanted to be able to fit more people.
Yeah.
Instead of taking out the original room, they just added on the main room.
Okay.
And that's where when you see like that iconic Comedy Store logo behind and it's got the lights on the side. So that's the main room. And then there's the belly room, which is up the stairs.
I've been in there too.
Up the stairs, yeah. And like I've seen some killer comics in there, you know. But
so there are 3 rooms?
There's 3 rooms, Yep. And the other, you know, like we were talking about the improv. You go into these places, and I did the lab at the Hollywood Improv with Bill Burr. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like we were in the green room. Like
wow.
He goes up, and luckily the dude who was after me goes, hey, I was supposed to follow him. And then there was a woman that was there. And then my buddy Forrest goes, hey, by the way, so-and-so is going to jump in after Bill. And then you'll go on after her.
Right.
And after watching Bill Burr just annihilate, I was like, thank God I'm not following that, man. Because I had a good set. But even the gal, I can't remember her name. But
did I just open for George Simmons?
Yeah, it's funny. I just opened for That's what it felt like, right? But it was great, man. Yeah, actually, Bill Burr opened for me. If you think about it, he was my feature, and then I went up. But Yeah, you get those moments, man, and like they don't leave you because you've worked so hard for them. So when you do get those moments, you know, I think I put a note in here about Seth Rogen meeting George Simmons for the first time and that interaction in the parking lot
at the Magic and Comedy Club or whatever.
Because it is hard. You for some reason your brain just doesn't want to put the words together when you get in front of those people.
Yeah,
that's hard. I would say the one time that I really Dave Attell, and maybe just now when I was trying to talk.
Yeah. It's the second thing.
Half of the things I say don't come out right.
Yeah. What was the thing you said to Dave Attell? I don't know.
Nothing.
Oh,
I couldn't speak. I couldn't even
I saw
look
him
at him.
at the Comedy Cellar once. He was amazing.
Great.
He's not like someone that I grew up like being really into, but I was just like, wow, he's amazing. Yeah, he was so good.
I opened for him, and afterwards, so MJ and I were on our way to the show, going to the green room, and the booker lady or whatever goes, by the way, dinner after the show.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, everyone's going. I was like, oh, great. So, awesome. So we do the show, great show. Dave brings me up on stage with Ryan, his other opener. We do the bumping mics thing where you're just like talking with Dave on stage. And then we go back into the green room and I go, hey, so dinner, huh? To go into dinner? And Dave goes, what? And I was like, huh? He's like, oh, are you going? And I'm like, oh.
I almost sprinted out of the room.
I was like, oh, Dave. I was like, oh, Dave, dude, they told me that we were all going to dinner. And he was like, oh. And then he goes, hey, Maggie, can you put, and I was like, Dave, please, no, do not. No, he's like, no, it's fine. If they said you're coming, you're coming. Hey, put 2 more on the reservation. I was like, please don't, please. And he's like, no, now you got to come. I was like, okay. So it's me, MJ, Dave Attell, and his other opener, Ryan.
Yeah.
It's the 4 of us at dinner. And it's a great dinner. We're having fun. And Dave's,
I could not speak. I couldn't speak.
Yeah, Dave's telling stories and he's cracking everybody up at the table.
Yeah.
And then the check comes and I'm like, okay, well, I can't let Dave. I know
you also
Dave
probably can't pay for everybody.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, listen, man, I knew that there was probably, because it was at the venue. The dinner reservation was at the venue that we were at. So I'm like, it's probably somewhat kind of comp, but also, So when the check comes, Dave reaches for it. I go, Dave, please, let me. And he goes, no. I go, at least let me pay for MJ and I. You don't need to pay for us. And Dave goes, no, Rudy. You invited yourself. It's the least I can do.
Oh Lord, you're like, no, I didn't. I tried to get out of this.
These 2 are dying, and I'm like, Dave. And he's like, no. Listen, it's okay. I get it. Let me pay. I mean, you just barged in on our dinner. It's totally fine. I'm like, I felt like such a chump, dude.
You told this story very well because I've seen Dave Attell play himself in a number of these shows about comedians. I'm like, that is exactly what he would have said.
1,000%. 8,000%. Yes.
It's good that when you have these experiences, you kind of like, lock it into memory because they made for good stories.
Really wonderful. I mean, he was wonderful.
Yeah.
He was warm and welcoming and
he that's
was,
nice.
Yeah, really personable. I just couldn't speak.
Yeah.
Like I never missed an episode of Insomniac. That was my ringtone. When you could when you could like buy a ringtone and force people to listen to it.
I don't know it's a show.
It was a show where
with
he
Dave
would
Attell?
he would travel the country doing shows and then afterward he would take the night and just wander around and see what that city was about.
Cool.
Sometimes he would be like smoking on a curb by himself.
Was it like HBO or what was it on?
Comedy Central.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
I want to watch it. That sounds
Other times
cool.
he'd like end up at a party.
Yeah. He'd go to like that late night hot dog place in Chicago where like everybody yells
Portillo's?
at you. Yeah. He'd go get that and then he would just end up at like just some dude's frat house and they would just be, and it would be like 4 a.m. and he'd be hanging out with people.
Very funny. I want to, it's like a crass Anthony Bourdain or something.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
That's so fun. Yeah. So MJ, is this what you dreamed it would be? A podcast?
Yes. Yeah. You know what my favorite thing is? Sitting around talking about movies and hearing funny people talk. Yeah. So yes.
Yeah. Well,
it's better.
I didn't get to, you're with 2 loud guys that I feel like I didn't get to hear enough out of you. So I want to hear more of what you thought of the movie. Do you have any?
Well, I do have a thought. So Adam Sandler didn't grow as a person as much as he thought he would.
Yeah.
Or as much as he wanted to.
Sure.
But he did a little tiny bit.
As a friend.
A teeny, tiny bit because he was such a jerk.
Yeah.
To everybody.
Yeah.
And then at the very end.
Yeah, he made it right.
Instead of saying like, I'm sorry, he goes up and does a goofy voice because that's the only level that he's reached maturity-wise. And he's like,
yeah,
take a break or whatever he said. And then he's like, I have some jokes if you want them.
Yeah.
So his growth is just extremely stunted.
Yeah.
And he thinks he wants all these things. He thinks he wants the girl that's beautiful and he still has her bikini pictures and he thinks he wants her and he thinks he wants kids. And maybe he does, but not really.
I think it's the perfect ending to an imperfect movie.
About an imperfect man.
About an imperfect man, yeah. Yeah.
It's also long.
It's long, yeah, and that was always I always felt defensive of the runtime when people would complain about it because I've always been weirdly defensive of Judd Apatow. I'm just like, anytime someone says something wrong about him or something they don't like, I'm just like, you don't understand, like you don't get Apatow the way I do, and that's not the point of this podcast. This is really just a celebration and an investigation in these movies, and but yeah. I don't know where I was going with that.
I think that it's a much more layered story than any of his other stuff.
It's more
maybe
complicated.
Freaks and Geeks, though. That's a pretty complicated. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, but that show doesn't leave me feeling icky about the world.
No,
there's something about this movie.
Hopeful.
Yes, same here. And this movie kind of just like, oh, there is. My wife kind of helped me solve this. Like, what is this in the pit of my stomach that is like, I don't love about the movie.
Yeah.
And it's good to know that about myself.
Yeah, you're right. There's like no resolve really at the end. You don't feel like, oh, look at that. Now the rainbow appears. You're like, no, you guys are just kind of going back to whatever it was that you did before.
I also had a hot take. I was like, maybe this would have been a better film had he died of cancer.
Maybe.
I don't want that to have happened to his character, but maybe like to watch him kind of like Gary Shandling himself, you know, like how when he was dying, he became extra, like spiritual, and like Judd Apatow wrote this book about all of his journal entries, and he was just like this, like so loving guy. And I'm like, what if he had done that to Adam Sandler's character at the end, like made him like almost like a spiritual guru, and like you're left like as a viewer like crying and laughing. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not the writer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would have been nice. Yes. But also like, most people, it seems like, who are like, oh, I was faced with certain death and then I made it away. Most people do slide right back into
how they were before.
Really, I'm just an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to change anything.
Yeah. Well, that's just it.
I beat cancer once. Why should I quit smoking now?
Yeah. Well, the resolve of the cancer, I feel like, happens a little too early in the movie, where you're just like,
oh, that might be part of the pacing. Is that it leaves to, because I think people always talk about the third act being the weakest, and I agree, but I could never figure out why. Mm-hmm. And I just think that all the time over at her house in Marin County or wherever they were, like I thought there was too much of that, and it kind of took away from the story of stand up in a way.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking about that because with watching Stranger Things, everyone went 5 seasons and you killed Vecna in 7.5 minutes. That's how you did it. And I was like, yeah, that's what we want.
Is this a major spoiler?
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen the 5th season. But
then that's on you. I gotta say, man, that's on you. I got this. I made up this
I don't
concept.
care about Vecna. Yeah. I watch it for the kids.
Yeah,
and they're adults now, so it's.
I made up this.
So it's
concept.
okay to say that.
Yeah, I made up this.
No, I don't mean it in a weird way.
Yeah.
I watch it for them. They're talented, funny kids, and I never cared about Vecna.
No, yeah, who are all now like 25 years old. It's so weird to watch them just get old.
When someone spoiled Harry Potter and they're like, "Oh, that evil spirit guy, he dies," or I'm just like, "Of course he does. That's what happens in these kind of movies."
Yeah.
This isn't like a drama.
Yeah, we're not going to do 7 Harry Potters and then he loses at the end.
No, of course Harry wins in some kind of way at the end. Spoilers are funny that way.
Yeah.
But I watch when I watched that, I was like, yeah, of course. Like it took literally 7 minutes for them to kill the bad guy, and you're like, yeah, that's how it should be. And then you watch this is the last part of it, and you're right. There's the cancer resolve, and then it goes to the them going to her place, and then there's the cheat, and you're like, this is so much. There's so much going on.
Right.
Towards the end.
But he does realize, I think, maybe he probably doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would admit that he realized it. Mm-hmm. But he does have a second chance at life. He thinks he wants this thing. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want it. He's pushed everyone in his life away.
Yeah.
He has one friend, and he pushed him away too. Yeah. So at the end, that's his, his come to Jesus. That's his thing where he's just like, okay, well, maybe I should be nice to this one person.
Yeah.
Because
he really does lose in the end because he doesn't get the girl, and he kind of realizes that his behavior his whole life is kind of
he's left with an empty mansion and girls whose names he won't remember. And
it's a sad story. Yeah. And I don't think it's a story that I don't think Judd as a creator is trying to glamorize this life. I think he's trying to do the opposite. But I do think that from the 2026 lens, maybe Apatow could have done a better job of, at the time, writing it so that was more clear. Because I think you could watch this movie and be like, oh, the message is like, you can just be rich and famous and do whatever you want. The message of the story is a lot more subtle than Knocked Up, where Knocked Up, you're just like, oh, shit, you can't do whatever you want. You kind of have to grow up. Mm-hmm. And this movie's kind of weirdly the opposite, but it's subtly not.
Yeah.
Like if you really read between the lines. But I think, I can see why my wife was just like, damn, just women are just objects in this movie. Like she was referring to Sarah Silverman's joke, like about, it was really funny where she stretched her mouth and she was like, it's actually floppy down there. Like people think they want me. And I laugh really hard at that joke, but I'm just like, you're right. It's like, even in the writing of this script, every joke is kind of in service of objectifying the women characters, even though I don't think that that's how Judd sees women. I just think that this is not my favorite of his movies. It's not my favorite worldview of his. Yeah. But I'll still continually watch it over and over again. I really like it in a lot of other ways. But I'm glad you guys were down to clown and talk about like good and the bad, not the bad, but everyone has opinions about these things.
Yeah. It's not his best work, but I think it's definitely his work that I relate to the most, just because of the subject matter.
Yeah.
A stand-up and the people that you have to surround yourself with, even when you don't want to.
Yeah.
And a little peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Like, just because I'm funny for you doesn't mean my whole life is
and I also like
just sad.
I like the part where he talks about having he's like I got Hollywood friends. I don't have friends.
That was the sad thing. And I was like, I wonder if this is like how Dane Cook feels. Yeah. Or like maybe not him, because I don't know, but like I'm like, when Judd wrote this, I don't think he in any way based this character on Adam Sandler.
No.
Even though he based his career on Adam Sandler, clearly like the movies are making fun of like Billy Madison and things like, oh, you had to learn how to be a baby to learn how to be a man, and like really funny stuff like that. But Adam Sandler is a family man. He seems like a very sweet guy, and I just don't think like I'm like, but I'm curious, like, who does Judd know that he's like, that's who I'm basing this guy on?
Maybe it's lots of people.
Maybe it might be just a combination.
And the only one who could play him was Adam Sandler, because he's the one who's like, oh wait, he goes out with his high school friends and buys them all dinner still, and has a family, so he can do it.
Adam Sandler, he seems like a very giving guy. He just he just wants to support his buddies and keep casting him and stuff. And
I walked past him once in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Oh, and you spent so much time in Los Angeles, I thought it would have been there.
Yeah, no, this was years and years ago. I lived in Manchester, New Hampshire for like 3 months. I took a radio job there.
Cool.
And he's from Manchester. His parents still live there. And I was walking into a restaurant, and he was walking out, and he had some takeout with him.
Yeah.
And I grabbed the door and I opened it, and he was walking towards, and I go, Adam Sandler. And he goes, try the poutine. And then he just kept walking. That was it. That's all he said. I was like, all right, great.
And maybe
poutine it is.
To make this poignant, maybe he was having a terrible day and he was putting on the autograph face like earlier in the movie. You never know.
Yeah, maybe, but he was nice. Like he wasn't like angry about it.
He seems like someone
just
who
seemed
would
like,
be
hey man,
really
I'm just
nice.
on my way to just go get dinner, and then I'm gonna go home and hang with my family, and that's it. So
He shouldn't have a cold dinner just because you met him.
no, of course I wasn't gonna stop him. No, I am not worthy of data in someone's phone.
MJ,
No.
I like that you appreciate the warmth or temperature of cuisine and not delaying that for people. That's a good quality.
Yeah.
You found a good one, Rudy.
I did.
Dinners are meant to be served warm.
Yeah.
You can't delay that for other people.
I
you know?
agree. Yes. Yeah, you're right. Yep. As long as it's vegan, and as long as it's what was the other night we were talking about, the vegan butcher shop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Herbie Butch.
Have you been there?
I've been there.
because we were talking about
I don't
it.
think
and I was
anyone
like,
calls it Herbie Butch. It's called the herbivorous
herbivorous butcher.
My friend calls it Herbie Butch.
I like that better.
It's just
Herbie Butch.
Herbie Butch.
It sounds like a branch of lesbian that we have.
I was
Yeah.
going to say my friend is in the LGBT umbrella, so maybe I'm not allowed to say that, but I always thought it was funny. So I don't know what do you have another podcast?
I got another
to go to, don't
podcast
you?
I got to go do today, and then my daughter she's been sick the last few days.
Bummer.
So she's been up in her room, but now she's on the mend. And I said, because I try to come back, I usually try to do something with her.
Yeah.
We should try to go see a movie, or I took her to. You got the poster there. Last time I was in town,
Yeah,
I took
One
her to
Battle.
One Battle After Another. Maybe not the best movie to take your 17-year-old daughter to, but we had a fun time. It was a good movie.
Well, it is in a big part. It is about a 17-year-old girl.
Yes,
she kind of
absolutely,
weirdly
yes.
becomes the protagonist of the movie halfway through. And,
Yeah, it was good.
I did not see.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good one.
It's good. Absolutely. Yeah. I said, what do you want to go do? And she was like, all I want is froyo.
Hell yeah.
I was like, froyo it is.
That's the way
so
to do
we're
it.
going to froyo it up after I do this next podcast. And then I got shows this weekend here in Minneapolis. So
Nice.
I'll be around all weekend.
At the House of Comedy.
Yeah.
Tonight and tomorrow. I don't even know.
So when does this podcast come out?
Not for a while.
Okay.
I've banked a bunch of episodes,
good,
so this
good.
will come out in a while.
Well, luckily, I think I'm booked. I think all the way up until like the end of April, even into May.
Okay, this might even come out March or April.
Yeah. So but just go to the website, rudypavichcomedy.com, and give me a follow at Rudy_Pavich.
And go to mj.com for your
For somebody's
for all
stuff.
Michael Jordan
Yeah.
apparel.
Jordan. You invented Jordans, right?
Yes.
You
Yes.
look vaguely like Amy Poehler. I realized when you laugh and when you smile.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I was like, who does she remind me of? Amy Poehler. That's who.
I wanted to be her when I was about 20.
I think we all sort of want to be her. She sounds awesome.
You're like 4 years older than her, aren't you?
No.
Don't
you
you
are.
dare,
No, I'm
Rudy.
not.
How old?
Because
no,
it was when I was 20 and I lived in the house with the guys and we started watching Upright Citizens Brigade.
Oh. I thought. Okay. No, it's fine with the age stuff because she's older than I am. So
I guess I'm 70.
Rudy,
as far
you're
as
really
he knows.
Rudy's really cutting edge as a male comedian, dating an older woman.
Yeah,
know.
I know. Yeah. Well, I do a joke when I go on the road with a famous guy and his girlfriend is substantially younger than he is. So I do the joke where I go,
Dane Cook?
No, not Dane Cook. I go on the road when I go on the road with Adam Carolla. I do the joke where I go, Carolla's girlfriend. I am 20 years younger than Adam Carolla, and Carolla's girlfriend is 20 years younger than me. And my girlfriend is 20 years older than Adam Carolla.
Which is definitely not true, but that is hilarious.
Yeah. Which is like, it's so funny that people get upset about like when you talk about someone's age. I'm like, it's a fact. It's like that's who you are. That's what you. It'd be like, okay, it's not like I look at somebody's birthdays on a piece of paper and then I go, but I feel younger than that. Well, no, you're not younger than that. Yeah. So I just always
that's
find
always bothered me too. Like, oh, no, it's okay. We'll just put 40. Don't say I'm 40.
Yeah.
Say I'm 57.
Yeah.
I don't want people to be like, she looks like shit.
Are you
Yeah.
57?
No.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck
I
is
am not.
happening
But
here?
I just feel like if you're going to lie, say you're older.
Yeah.
Because
No,
then
you're right.
people are
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you look amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just almost blew my mind. I was like, there is no way.
See?
There's
See?
no way you're 57.
Yeah.
That's
I know, you
that
look
it works.
way older than that. Way older.
You look about
57?
20 years older than Adam Carolla.
You look like the ghost of Amy Poehler is what you look like. Amy Poehler's dead, lifeless corpse from when they pulled her out of the nursing home.
I don't like that at all.
I don't like that thought at all.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, I got to get this one back to the home, so we're going to have
Okay.
to wrap this up here pretty quick because someone's due for their nap.
It's me.
It is her. Yeah.
MJ, so nice to meet you.
Nice
You were
to meet you
awesome.
too.
Rudy, you're amazing. You guys are
Thank you,
amazing.
buddy. Thank you,
This has
buddy.
been so cool.
Yeah, great to hang, man. Thanks for
Yes.
having us.
And then now I don't make eye contact with you at all.
Yes.
I just awkwardly. That was great. Apatow Nerd is created, hosted, recorded, edited, and mixed by me, Ethan Yeshaya. The lovely theme music was written and recorded by my dear friend Nick Costa. If you can connect me with someone who's worked with Judd Apatow or have an Apatow-related story, please send me an email at apatownerd@gmail.com. Stay curious, be funny, and we'll see you next time.